All right, gang. Today we're going to go back to the 80s once again, and we're going to cover a gentleman known as Guinness Grappling Grizzly, otherwise known as Ricky Grizzly Brown. Huge guy who's not tall-wise. He was only 6 feet tall, but he weighed 330 at 6 feet. And as you can see by the picture on the header there, he was just a huge dude. Kind of like Anthony Clark. And much like Anthony Clark, just a really well-liked guy. He really loved kids. And we'll talk about that. Here's some of his statistics. 3,000-pound leg press, 800 squat, 860 deadlift, 630 bench, 550 incline, 15 reps with 200-pound dumbbells. So obviously very impressive. And again, this book thing was for his biceps. Maybe been a couple other things too. So they're interviewing him here and asking him about, does he enjoy being a strongman? He says, of course. And he asks him to describe himself, and he, says mean and nasty, and then he laughs. Right? He says, I'm called Grizzly, but deep down inside, I'm probably just a big teddy bear. He likes to put on a good show, as any really good performing strongman would. And so he asks what stunts he likes. So he says he usually chooses things that go with his strength, like his 630-pound bench press and his 550-pound incline. This is one that, and I didn't realize Mike Dayton, who was another performing strongman, was his coach, and kind of talked him into doing this holding the motorcycles back thing, which is pretty awesome. I think Dayton might have done that himself. But Mike was big on the mental aspect, and he had a key training course. Some say key, but CHI, There he is, Mike Dayton, a pretty good bodybuilder. And he used to do crazy stuff like hanging himself and, obviously without getting hurt. And he was pretty light, as Grizz mentions here. He was only like 205 in his prime. But another strong dude. So one of his tips, and I've done this myself, he's asking him how he gets psyched up, and he says he gets angry. And you see him, if you see him like pacing around the stage and looking like he's getting his crazy eyes, yeah, he's getting psyched up to do what he's got to do. And there's where he brings up the key again. There he is doing 405 for reps on the looks like an incline bench there. Yeah, 405 in the incline press for reps. And he also does seated press, which you'll see a picture of coming up, for like 15 reps with 315, which is pretty substantial, obviously. He likes to train by himself, he mentions here, and he has a pretty much year-round schedule, except for, he mentions December and January. There he is on the Smith machine doing seated press with 315 for reps. You can see his back is just insane. So I certainly don't doubt that he did those things. I really don't remember Grizzly that well. I was in my 20s in those days. But as it mentions later, here he's talking about his poor mom. And back in those days, $200 a week was a lot of money for a food bill. So obviously it took a lot to feed the guy. Here he's talking about veal cannelloni, a nice steak, and then 10 meatballs afterwards as one of his meals. But then he says he lightens up when he goes into his more bodybuilding routine. There he is with Peter Paul. The Barbarians were very popular, and he did, strongman stunts and feats of strength and stuff. So I'm sure they probably shared a stage more than once. Then he asked him about his pre-exhibition diet, and he says that changes to include more red meat, all hoof meat, interestingly, which he says, admittedly, are all more high cholesterol meats, but he feels like that's the where you get your strength from. I kind of tend to agree with him about that, because cholesterol really, especially if you're not, taking any juice, cholesterol is the basis of testosterone. There he is in a casual picture. Now, he did end up retiring from the strongman stuff in 87. He went to work for this Willard school in 89, I believe it mentions, and he's became a wrestling coach, but he just really liked working with kids, and just seemed like a really good dude. And it's really a shame that he passed, unfortunately, in 2002. He was only 41 years old. But they do, remember his legacy at the school, and they have an award based, it's like the Grizz Improvement Award. There he is with his couple of his students. So, again, another really good dude, big, strong guy that we lost a little bit too early. And, yeah, it's one problem with being that big. It's just really rough on the body. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing that, and hit those like buttons if you enjoy the video. Thanks, and I'm out.